Sega Superstars Tennis is basically a game that is a sort of a tennis-based game. So you're very familiar with sort of the Virtua Tennis series from Sega. Well, we've worked on sort of based it off that, and we've included all the sort of Sega characters that we've really enjoyed from the past. So you obviously got Sonic, you've got sort of other characters from Knights, you might have Ooh La La from Space Channel 5, Jet Set Radio, which is another classic. So we thought about all these different characters and sort of the tennis environment and how people really loved Virtua Tennis and that kind of thing. And we developed sort of a mission-based game. We have the Superstars mode. You sort of go little mini games, you play tennis, you unlock new courts, new characters, soundtracks, that kind of thing. And it's all based around these sort of really cool environments from the characters themselves, from the worlds that they bring in. So for Sonic, we might have Green Hill Zone, that kind of thing. For Space Channel 5, we have, the Space Channel 5 station, that kind of stuff. So it's really sort of just a big wraparound of Sega classics that you can find, but all based around tennis.
So which of all the Sega franchises that you bring to this game is your favorite?
It's a hard choice. There's so many. I must say, I really like sort of Ooh La La from Space Channel 5. I think she's got a bit of attitude, a bit of spunk. I kind of like Shadow, also from Sonic World. I think he's a bit of badass, and we kind of swapped his guns for a tennis racket, which is kind of cool. But I like Dr. Eggman because he's got a really sort of funky animation and sort of looks pretty, kind of quirky in a tennis environment. So there's a few characters I really like.
So how you translated their like specific skills or abilities to the tennis game?
Yeah, we looked at basically sort of, because we are big Sega fans in the first place, we sort of follow all the games anyways. But there's just certain movements that we just like, and we spoke to SOJ or some of the Sega studios, well actually most of them, in the case of just talking to them about, saying this is our ideas, we'd like to represent sort of these characters like this, and sort of worked with them, and we really wanted them to give us some feedback, just to make sure that the characters really felt sort of true to where they came from. And obviously, we don't want to, annoy any of the fans, and we want to provide sort of a very sort of authentic game in that sense. So we worked very closely with Sega for feedback, for comments, for tweaks, and we just developed the game sort of in the direction that we thought was appropriate, specifically with the representation of characters, that kind of thing. In terms of bringing back Alex Kidd and sort of how we went around doing that, well, you got to realize that we are big Sega fans, and we just love all the sort of old school stuff from the past, and so even the latest stuff, which is really nice. But there's just some extra unlockables that we wanted to add to please the fans that are well aware of exactly what Alex Kidd is all about and where he started from. Or you'll find Knights is a bit of a special one also. Ooh La La is a bit of a special one because of Space Channel 5. It's not specifically super well-known characters or environments or games, but for the fans that are there and that know about them, they'll be really happy, and that's kind of what we wanted to do. It's just those little touches of nostalgia that we wanted to bring back. And in the sense of Alex Kidd, we just thought, he's one of the first mascots for the Sega. So we just thought, well, why not bring him, see if he can come back and play tennis, and and I think it works well. I really like the Super Monkey Ball environment because it's just kind of funky. It has sort of this little checkered thing going on. It also has this sort of big circular ring that sort of floats around. You see the monkey balls sort of going around in the bananas, that kind of thing. I also like Green Hill Zone. It's very colourful, very bright. There's lots of activity. You can see it's very Sonic inspired because you have the big ring in the background, you have the waterfall. Those are, I guess, are some of the two ones that I like. Kyrian Mansion and House of Dead is, another awesome one. You just have the lovely sort of fog that creeps in. You have the mansion in the background. The gargoyles in the mini games are like spitting balls at you to use to attack zombies. So it's really fun environments that suit the game very well. We're providing the game on Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, Wii, PS2 and DS. Now obviously these versions we try to maintain and sort of not compromise any of the game quality or the gameplay, which I think we, hopefully will succeed in doing that. Wait for the gamers to let us know. But in terms of the features, we're looking at online for Xbox and PS3. For Wii, obviously, you're looking at different control methods than the Xbox or PS3. So you'll be using the Wiimote. You can use a combination of the Wiimote for just normal playing, or you can use it with a nunchuck. You can turn it horizontally for the traditional mode, so a bit more like a gamepad. On the DS, for example, you'll be able to use the buttons or the stylus. So you have a bit of choice in that sense. And obviously on the DS you have two screens, so you have your game on top screen, you have your results on the bottom screen. So you have slight differences, but I think in terms of game content and the way it plays, or sort of the looks, still pretty similar and pretty standard for the actual controls and sort of hardware that they're on.
Mm. So how close would you say that the gameplay is to Virtua Tennis? I
think it stays true to sort of the Virtua Tennis form in terms of you still have the serve bar. So you have the serve bar. If you get the maximum serve, you have a very powerful serve. You still have the sort of speed of your serve. You have the whole positioning system. If you put yourself in a great position to receive the ball and you do good timing, you'll get a great shot, a bit more powerful shot. I think also in terms of, we've tried to maintain the whole sort of balance of the balls and the speed and that kind of thing. But we're also looking at sort of the animation system, the controls. If you played Virtua Tennis 3 on the Xbox, you'll feel quite similar by picking up SST on the Xbox. You can still do your lob shots, your drop shots. You also have your sort of smash shots, which are available in Virtua Tennis 3. But we slightly opened that up a bit, where we sort of hinted a bit more to the player where that location is. So we've added a little bit of a hint as a ball marker. The thing that we've sort of brought on top of all this mechanic, which is really sort of successful in Virtua Tennis, is that we've added the sort of superstar shot. And this is a bit more of a trick shot, I guess you could explain. And this is really sort of, you have a superstar underneath you that sort of builds up of energy as you go along with rallies and great shots. So what you do then is, when that flashes and that's really active, you can activate it and you get a specific shot that is in relation to your character. So for example, Dr. Eggman might release some spiked balls, and sort of, if you hit those balls, you'll get electrocuted. II will have, a really sort of curved shot because he's got an attribute of sort of really spins, that kind of thing, and bananas attached to it. So if you hit one of the bananas, you'll slip on it. It's that kind of quirky thing that we sort of bring in just to add a bit more to it. So if you're playing, in a sort of doubles tournament, say, and the last point is the match point that you have to get, you might activate your superstar shot just to get that extra point in, and just win the whole tournament competition. So there's sort of that's the kind of differences that we've brought along.